Hello everyone, my name is Tivia. I, as a team member in my company, were instructed to carry out an analysis about the country that we want to expand our construction business. I was given few options of country and I chose China as my company to analysis. The reason I chose China is China is the market of fantasy for many. It is one of the largest unified economic spaces. Its business is booming. The construction industry has contributed considerably to China's economic development and the urbanization process. The gross output of the construction industry in China has increased from USD 0.21765 trillion to USD $2.902 trillion, up by 1,160%. However, the construction industry is still a traditional industry in China, characterized by low efficiency, high pollution, large capital requirements, and an unreasonable structure hindering its development. China has the largest populations of any country. People were counted during the census taken in 1990. So let me explain about the cultural factors in China in the coming slides. Population in China had grown rapidly in recent times, expanding by approximately 15 million each year, an increase equal to the total population of Australia. Between 1964 and 1982, China added 313 million to its population, more people than lived in the Soviet Union during that time. The rapid growth has occurred because the death rate has dropped sharply. The birth rate has also fallen, but the total population is enormous, and there are many young people. In an effort to reduce the rate of population growth, the Chinese government since 1978 has promoted the one-child family among the Han. Married couples are urged to have only one child. China is extremely large country, first in population and fifth in area. About 1.4 billion people lived in China according to the World Bank, representing 56 ethnic minority groups. The largest group is the Han Chinese, which is about 900 million people, and the other groups include the Tibetans, the Mongols, the Manchus, the Naxi, and the Herzans, which is smaller group with fewer than 2,000 people. All the land in China is owned by the state, and protection of foreign intellectual property is inadequate. The judicial system is heavily influenced by government agency and Chinese Communist Party. The People's Republic of China is, according to the constitutions, a people's democratic dictatorship. It is a communist state. Deng Xiaoping proposed the phrase market socialism to describe the evolutions of the PRC. China is characterized by a centralized unitary state fully administered by the Chinese Communist Party. The party has all the jurisdiction and the authority in the country. The president is the head of state and is elected by the National People's Assembly. In general, he is also the General Secretary of the Communist Party. He represents China in international institutions. The Prime Minister directs and controls government action, assisted by 4 Deputy Prime Ministers. The Chinese government consists of multi-party cooperation system and political consultation under the leadership of the CPC. The system ensures that the CPC is the only party in power in the People's Republic of China. Under the precondition of accepting the leadership of the CPC, the 8 other political parties participate in the management and discussion of state affairs is in cooperation with the CPC. Under the leadership of the CPC, all parties, mass organizations and representatives from all walks of life take part in consultation of the country basic policies and important issues in political, economic, culture and social affairs before a decision is adopted, and in the discussion of major issues in the implementation of the decision. There are risks of confiscation, expropriation, currency inconvertibility, and contract repudiation. Currency devaluation and rampant inflation are possible scenarios in many countries, wreaking havoc on the accuracy of insurance limit as one of many potential problems. A unique form of political risk occurred in China, and this is the constant battle between the country's central government and the provincial and local governments over applicable law and observance or non-observance of it. China is the 87th least corrupt nation out of 175 countries, according to the 2018 Corruption Perception Index reported by Transparency International. Corruption rank in China averaged 69.46 from 1995 until 2018, reaching an all-time high of 100 in 2014 and a record low of 40 in 1990. Demographics. Population by broad age groups in China. Main cities by population in China. China's average real per capita income is 12,472.51, which is in line with the world median income but far below the world average. GDP per capita in China averaged 1762.12 USD from 1960 until 2018, reaching an all-time high of 7,755 USD in 2018 and a record low of 132.30 USD in 1962. GDP growth rate. Until 2015, China was the world's fastest-growing major economy with growth rates averaging 6% over 30 years. GDP annual growth from July 2016 to July 2019. In the latest reports, China's total export reached 214.8 USD in August 2019, a decrease of 0.4% every year. Total imports recorded 180 USD in August 2019, a decrease of 2.2% every year. China's trade balance recorded a surplus of 34.8 USD in August 2019, compared with a surplus of 44.6 USD in the previous month. China was ranked 46th out of 190 countries in the World Bank's 2019 Doing Business report, a major improvement from 2018 when it was ranked 78th out of 190 countries. China was one of the top 10 economies to improve the most from 2018 and 2019 report, and was the only one economy from East Asia and Pacific on the list of top improvers. The country demonstrated reform agendas that aim to improve the business regulatory environment in the country over the course of several years. The reforms mainly focus on increasing the efficiency of business process. In order to attract further foreign investment, the country has introduced mechanisms to improve the delivery of major foreign investment projects, reduce import tariff, streamline custom clearance, and establish an online filing system to regulate FDI. With a wealth of employees and potential partners eager to learn and evolve, the country is a base for low-cost productions, which makes it an attractive market for investors. Nevertheless, certain factors can hinder investments, such as China's lack of transparency, legal uncertainty, low level of protection of intellectual property rights, corruption, or protectionist measures which favor local business. The graph shows the inflation rate in China from June 2018 to June 2019. In June 2019, the inflation rate in China ranged at 2.7%, The term inflation means the devaluation of money caused by a permanent increase of the price level for products such as consumer or investment goods. China's exchange rate against USD averaged 7.063 USD in August 2019, compared with 6.878 USD in the previous month. Confucianism is the basic Chinese education system. Education is very important in China. Excellent score in the state examination can win a man an appointment to a government position. This post is not only for broad status or wealth to the male appointed, but also to their family. Every foreign business person who enters into a contract with a Chinese company needs to consider a fundamental question that how will the contract enforce? To be able to pursue a claim successfully against a Chinese company, the following is usually required. First is, there must be a written contract between the parties executed by both parties in accordance with the requirements of Chinese law. Traditionally, it has been common in China to do business without a contract. Second is the contract must be enforceable in China. As a practical matter, no Chinese court will enforce a foreign judgment, and it can be quite difficult to get them to enforce a foreign arbitration award. A contract enforceable in China must meet the following basic standards. Minimum wages in China continue to grow. Through the first 6 months of 2019, 4 regions has increased their minimum wages, which is Beijing, Chongqing, Shanghai, and Shanghai. Last year, 15 out of 31 regions in mainland Chinese increased their minimum wages, while 20 did so in 2017. Local governments in China are required to update their minimum wages at least every few years but have the flexibility to adjust wages according to local conditions. Most provinces set different classes of minimum wage levels for different areas depending on the given region's level of development and cost of living. In my opinion, I would say it's a big risk for us to expand our construction business to China now because currently China is experiencing a downturn, fluctuations or unequal growth path in construction sector. China is actually the largest, one of the largest construction sector in the world, but still last several years, China's construction sector has slowed as the country looks shift to a lead economy and implement more sustainable construction practices. China is also looking to shift away from large-scale infrastructure projects toward more locally oriented projects. Projects such as water supply and treatment plants, road improvement, urban metro system, and public park align with the 13 5-year plan's goals of reducing road tariff and pollutions, redeveloping dilapidated housing, and promoting the growth of small and medium-sized cities. Replacing old heating infrastructure in cities also provides a niche opportunity. Growth in the residential and non-residential construction segment will be more muted as a structural slowdown in China's economic negatively impact demand for new commercial and industrial buildings. Main advertising method used in China: mobile advertising, video advertising. The construction industry in China will see growth of approximately 4.5% over the next 5 years to 2023, according to information supplied by Global Data. In the fourth quarter of 2017, construction activity in China increased 6.1%, pushing growth for the year up to 4.5%. This is below the double-digit growth which the sector has previously enjoyed. Investing in large-scale infrastructure projects has been a key part of the Chinese government's strategy to boost growth. It is partly due to his reason that growth is expected to remain relatively level at 4.5%. Market access. Local distribution networks, buying habits of local consumers, and regulatory requirements can make China a very difficult market to access. Consumer preference. There have been a sizable class shift in China over the past few decades, and the consumer environment is far more diverse than it once was. It is also completely detached from markets elsewhere in the world, and many companies have sunk in China because they fail to take into account consumer preference. Labor. The US-China Business Council recently published a report that showed 62% of respondents say that they had increased wages by 5% to 10%. 8% of respondents had hiked them more than 15%. This was the area that concerned respondents the most on the whole survey. Competition. Many Chinese companies are looking to improve the quality of their products and services so they can sell them abroad, which has increased competition as a result. Governmental challenges. Rules stating how products are designed, manufactured, sold, used, and disposed of exist in China, which all products must comply with before entering the market. This can be very foreign procedures to many companies and can impact the appeal of the country. Issues such as wage arrears, fail to sign the employment contract, low rates of work-related injury insurance coverage, and poor workplace safety have plagued the construction sector in China for many years. However, this is not due to unscrupulousness of construction bosses or the failure of apathetic government officials to do their jobs. Much less, it is due to a lack of right awareness among the construction workers. Rather, it is to a large extent caused by the absence of an effective trade union that can promote and defend workers' interests. For this situation to change, construction sector industry unions should establish channels for communication with national and regional construction industry federation all over China, and discuss the feasibility of creating annual collective bargaining mechanism for the sector. They should also set up training centers for one's evolution would not need further training by their employer and could be hired directly for the union's real name registration platform. Finally, and most importantly, construction industry union should require their staff to get out from office and go into building sites to drum up membership. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.